Taurus, the message for today is come as you are. Come as you are, and you will be successful in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you feel called to do. You're guaranteed success as long as you come as you are. So I don't know who needed to hear that message for today, but that was the download that I got. I kept hearing it over and over and over again. And without a shadow of a doubt, I knew that someone on this channel needed to hear that message, all right? Early birds catch the worm. So if you guys are new, welcome to our Secret Love Nest here. TT calling with another channel message. All of my messages are timeless. So take what resonates, leave the rest for another Taurus. And yes, all placements can resonate, okay? It can resonate with your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars. Wherever you have Taurus in your chart, it can definitely resonate for you. You're being called, Taurus, someone that's going to watch this video, you're being called to come out of your comfort zone. There's something about you have a way of doing something that's comfortable for you and you're good at it, right? But it's no longer challenging you. It's not challenging you anymore to explore other genres, right? Or other aspects of yourself that's also talented. Okay, I'm hearing if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, so you could live by that belief system that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and you just need to continue doing it because it's a hit. You're a hit. It's a success every single time. Okay? It's a success every single time. And so you don't want to change it. Spirit is showing me that you have the whole world in your hands. And when you remain in your comfort zone, you only touch the parts of the sun. You only allow the sun to touch parts of the world that can resonate only with you. Okay? I'm hearing Pride Rock, right? You know how he said, wherever the sun touches, that's where you can go. And so there was a whole part or side of Malele that nobody from the light would ever go to. And until Simba and until Nala, they were the ones that were willing to take a risk and go onto the side of Malele where the sun didn't touch. And now that I think about it, with how influential Rafiki was in that paradigm, right? In that reality, he knew things. And even though he knew things, he also had to bear the burden of knowing that sadness and endings would come too. Right? Because of our personality and our archetypes, he knew Mufasa's nobility would prevent him from seeing Scar as a long-term problem. And even though he knew that, and even though he had that awareness, it wasn't his role to change that fate and rob Mufasa and Scar of the lesson that they have to learn from their free will and their choices. So there's a fine line between knowing so much and having discernment on what you should and shouldn't share. And I feel like Rafiki really really showcased that very well on what you should or shouldn't share for the context of this conversation. All right. So the archetype of Simba and Nala. You may have been like that when you were young, very rebellious, or, challenge authority. Maybe you went through an experience, right? Where in that experience, you lost someone you love, or you went through something that was traumatic. Okay, losing your father is traumatic. Losing a grandparent is traumatic. Losing a loved one of any kind is traumatic, right? And maybe that experience put you on a frequency where you're like, maybe you were conflict avoidant and you ran away. And for those of you that feel like you ran away, it's like, I'm running away from my duty, my obligation, my responsibility, because it's like I don't want to subscribe to that game anymore. All you do is lose people that you love. And that would be a representative of Simba's archetype, right? He felt that way. It was shame. Too much shame to go back to your hometown. Too much shame to go back to your homeland. He took on the burden as if it was his fault. Great mind trick, right? And then you have Nala, who's like, bitch, do you know who the fuck you are? You are Simba. What is wrong with you? Okay, so some of y'all could be in the archetype of Nala, where it's like, what's your problem? Okay. And then we get to Kovu and Kiara. And this is where shit gets funny, right? Now we're talking about the third generation. All right. And so the third generation has this desire to rebel as well, but they take it even further. I don't want to just go places where I'm not allowed to go. I want to be with people that I'm not allowed to be with. I want to date people of the same sex. I want to be with people of opposites of me. Something about whatever goes against the natural order. And those are why I'm picking up so much. It's an extreme of an end, right? And what's Rafiki? How long did Rafiki live? Did Rafiki outlive everybody? I mean, because I feel like that damn monkey was a living, breathing entity at this point, okay? Just walking, living, breathing entity. All right. And one of the big things that is sticking out to me is forbidden love. Okay, Taurus. There's something about forbidden love. And the parents of Kiara did not support her being in love with an outsider. Okay? Hell, the whole pride, the whole community, the whole world that the light touched did not support them being together. And for many of you, it's not about a relationship. It may be, I don't support you being with someone taboo. I don't support you being with someone outside your culture. I don't support you being with someone the same sex as you. I don't support fill in the blank. I don't support you working in this industry. I don't support you being a full-time stripper. Okay? I don't support it. Whatever it is. you know, anyway, I digress. I was going to go down a whole tangent. But it's like I don't support what you want to do because it goes against the natural order. It goes against my expectations of you. And so, conformity. Okay. This expectation for you to conform and your desire to be left alone are in strife with each other. For those of you where it's work related, your desire to go outside of your niche, to branch outside of one narrow perspective of what you do, and you want to blend them all together or branch them all together or branch out, is not accepted. I thought I had some conditioner in my nails. We good. It's not accepted. And so a higher power is coming through saying, come as you are. Wherever you are right now. If you're at the lowest of the low, this is all you have. Come as you are. I promise you're going to be successful. If you're at the height of your career and you're afraid if you take one step left or one step right, all of it's going to come following down. Come as you are. I promise you. The fall will work for you. Your ruts will work for you. Your pain is going to work for you. Some way, somehow, it's all going to work for you. Do trust me. All right? Because it's like you're being raised up at the edge of that mountain. Just like Simba was. Just like those that before him was. Just like those after him were. You're being exalted and raised up. Something about you is going to push the narrative down a new path, down a new journey, a new era, a new dawn, a new day, a new way of doing things. And Spirit wants you to know the time that you've been spending in isolation to yourself, the sacrifice to separate and really give yourself time, right? Not talking to anyone, not seeing anything, not having any type of physical movement. A lot's happening underground. And even if you were to go out there and directly try to connect with people and say, oh yeah, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, your dreams would be killed. Imagine if Simba said, I'm going to the water hole, or I'm going to the elephant, whatever. I'm going where the light don't touch. Everyone would have said, no, you're not. I'm telling, no, you're not. And you would never know what the other side looks like. So, let's go. Let's go. Where we going, Spirit? We're going to go where the light don't touch. Some of y'all, this is your subconscious realm. And we're going to see what's in there, okay? Others of you, this will serve just as confirmations of your own intuition. And, ooh, Lord, look what I split the deck. Look what came out. Ascension. Okay, we got the and then we have deep fake. What does it say? Convincing lies, altered truths, virtual deception. Seeing is no longer believing. You know what this makes me think about, you guys? You know how, like, I love you, AI, okay? If you guys ever get lost in this reading, be sure to check out my homegirl down there, Megan. Just look for the ask part right across from like, dislike. I think there's an ask button and she'll break it down for you, okay? If you need to catch up. Nonetheless, but this is making me feel like ask AI. Right now, you gotta really pay attention. You remember when we were kids and in school they have you learn about finding the similarities or the differences in a portrait? I feel like that skill set would really benefit a lot of people right now, because y'all are probably the only ones catching when before you could Photoshop a picture, okay? But now they Photoshop in videos and it's animated. And if you don't pay attention to the little minor differences, you would think you actually saw, like, no, I saw it with my own two eyes. It was on virtual, it was on social media. And it's like, did you really see it? Okay. Or was it altered content? So many of you that are being asked to come outside of your comfort zone and come as you are is creating options. Okay. If nobody wants to create content, then we'll have way too much production of altered content and we'll have very little production of genuine, authentic content. And so it's almost like you guys are becoming, this new wave is becoming real life portraits. Before, we used to look at the picture on the paper and be like, oh, that's off. This not supposed to be there. This has this many differences. And now you're actual people, but the people watching you gets dissect and be like, okay, that's not real. This is real. And it's important that process, because this majority of humanity is going towards technology, right? So paper and pencil about to be, Mr. O'Hare air. It's about to be a thing of the past. Okay, y'all, imagine if we really don't imagine that, but they did make a movie about it. It was buying air. Sheesh. Okay. So I was following something pretty much. It's not personal. Okay, the people that are dissecting you or being able to point out the flaws or point out the differences, Spirit is saying, if you can perceive it as seeing yourself as an assignment, when someone points out those flaws or they point out the differences between you and maybe another person, another artist, another creator, whatever, you won't take it so personal, because you will be pretty much saying, I am the lesson. And if you are the lesson, then that means the students need to be able to dissect your content. Think of yourself like a virtual painting, and it's moving. And how do I know that it's not a mirage if I'm not able to dissect it? Okay, interact with it. So there's a necessity to be able to interact. Okay, and maybe you're like, I don't feel like it. They're so draining, or it's so irritating. I get it. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it is. I feel like the most you'll be able to pick up on is flattery. But even flattery, you can use to your, you can redirect that energy. It's something about you mastering how to redirect energy into in the way that you want it to be. So there's two lessons happening here, right? There's no superiority complex over here. So there's two perspectives happening. One, I'm allowing you to practice what you need so you can discern better. And two, I'm learning how to redirect your fuckery. Okay, so contract. Soul contract. fated connections, karmic relations, spiritual agreements, destined to meet. So a lot of you, your soul contracts. Your soul contract, you're fated to meet someone where you don't want to go. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be bothered. That's where you're going to meet your soul contract. So everyone that you have to interact with are like the spiritual contracts that lead to. I didn't even realize my battery was low. So all the karmic relationships that you encounter, the soul contracts, not romantic. Remember, karmic relationship can be professional. They can be, karmic relationships can be platonic. Okay. People that you interact with, customers, clients, industries, markets, trades, all these different things can be karmic contracts. You teach them something, you teach them something. Each one teach one, right? So in order for those experiences to come about with soul contract, it's like you have to put yourself in the environment that your soul was contracted to meet them in. And for many of you guys, it's in a virtual realm, a virtual reality. And maybe you don't like going to virtual realities. Some of you guys, it's in a physical setting. Maybe you don't like going to physical setting. Maybe you have anxiety, fear. You're like, I don't like people, but you're meant to go into those settings. Maybe you've been off the grid, but you're meant to go back in the grid. Something about Tron as well is significant. And maybe you don't want to, but that's where your contracts are. That's where your calling. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's pull one card from this one. So we have 66, or is it 99? Flip it. Whatever you think it is, flip it. Ooh, look at that. Every risk you take, whatever you perceive it is, flip it. So if a person comes to you with hater ass energy, flip it. Oh, thank you for loving me so much. This is something that you're meant to master right now. Okay, early birds. I don't know who meant to hear this message. Okay, but if you're in a situation where there's no way out. This is the only way out. Is to go through it. Is to go in it. Okay, I'm hearing walking on the path. I see a bear, a great big bear. Can't go over it. You can't go under it. So I guess I gotta go through it. And now you're walking. So it's something about get walking again. One step in front of the other. Okay, it's gonna break every chain. Break every chain. All right, gambling. It says, even if you proceed with your uncertain plans, I'll always care about you, but I'm worried these risks might drive us apart. Let's find a secure path together. So there's someone that loves you, but they're scared because it's taboo to be in love with each other. Something about it is forbidden, taboo. They can't do it. Okay, 777. This is alignment. And so instead of saying, oh, they're scared, this is never going to work, how would you flip that? I'm about to give you a real life example. Even if you proceed with your uncertain plans, I always care about you, but I'm worried these risks might drive us apart. Let's find a secure path together. So I guess the only way you can flip that is there is no risk. When you start to speak it differently, you'll stop manifesting the risky energy. That's what I'm getting here. Our path is secure. Nothing can disrupt it. You eliminate time, when, where, how, and you eliminate worry. Nothing can drive us apart. So instead of saying, you just rewrite the shit that's coming out negative and you flip it positive. I'm not worried about these risks. Where it says I'm worried about these risks, it may drive us apart. There are no risks and nothing can separate us. There's something about your confidence and the way that you speak is going to reprogram the way you think, and you'll stop manifesting delays. You'll stop manifesting postponed energy. Okay? And that's why it's showing up as a subconscious realm. Because you have to unspell what the karmic energy contracted you to believe. Okay. Straight like that. And yes, in order to change your fate, you have to become Delulu. A little bit. Okay? Otherwise you'll fear everything. You'll fear the weather changing. I fear this, I fear that, I fear this, I fear that. Never got time for that. Affirmation would say no fear can exist here. A confirmation, I exist without fear. It's already I am. Okay, this is another way of speaking to yourself. It's mine. Everyone else is just it's already mine. You see what I'm saying? I already got the job. Other people will see it in time. Okay, other people will see that I'm the person for the job in time. You gotta have the confidence like that before it comes. So, Chronicles of Narnia, Street Lamp, clarity, inspiration, shine. You'll find the guidance you need to solve your mystery soon. I told you. Some of you, that's the guidance that you need. Just change the way you talk to yourself. Get rid of the old way of thinking so you can plant new ways of envisioning a world of infinite possibilities. Okay? Where you get to decide how you want it to play out. Are you sick or are you sick? If you see what I'm saying? Play on words. You gotta play on them words because them words are spells. And the only spells that should be able to exist in your reality are the ones that you want. Okay? Do I have time? Maybe a little bit of time. I got a little bit. Let's get one card. My handy dandy notebook. Compromising. Let me say something. You're gonna see this card for a long time. The only deception is the one that you allow yourself to believe. Well, what do you mean, TT? Other people can deceive me. Other people can lie to me. Other people can do a lot of things. But can you control that? No. The only thing that you can control is how you are internalized. Nothing should have the privilege or the authority to hurt you unless you want it to. Okay? And I know that's hard because when we externalize our power, we want to hold everyone else accountable. But when we internalize our power, we only take on the responsibility of holding ourselves accountable and how we react. Everything outside of you is a possibility. The only ones that get to manifest are the ones that you want. And it's like, well, how do you explain this happening to me? Or how do you explain that happening to you? Is that the answer that you're seeking? Is that really the answer that you're seeking? If you're in the why something is happening or why this had to happen, then there's questions that you still have, and this may not be the message for you. I'm speaking to those of you that have got out of situations and you have survived beyond those situations, but you're still just surviving. So how do we move you from a space of surviving and into a position of alchemizing, manifesting, giving yourself permission to progress beyond where you've been, your circumstances, your conditions? That's moving you from one classification into another, whatever that classification may be. The only person that can get you there is you. So there are some other videos that have been channeled, okay, over the past 3 years, where we go through that growth process together. Okay, if you go back to the very video I ever posted on this channel, you will see the growth from point A to point B. We've been there, we've done that, but that doesn't mean that everybody is going to be processing things at the same time, and not every message can be for everybody. Okay, though they may be similar. Okay, this message may be intended to resonate for another Taurus. But it seems like when the struggles of life get you down, it's like, whose fault is it? You need something tangible to blame or hold accountable. Okay. But when you're trying to cultivate a new reality and a new gift and a new purpose, you got to be willing to let go of the baggage. You got to be willing to let go of struggle, trouble, and see things for what they are, not for what you want them to be. Okay. Now here's where it gets tricky. You see how it says see things for what they are and not what you want them to be? Everything is love. Well, how can there be if there's so much bad in the world? Because something was able to trigger you emotionally and get you to believe that joy don't last always. It's like when you're a kid and all you believe in is rainbows and lollipops, and then someone comes in and say, okay, I'm going to wipe that smile off your face, and I'm going to do something traumatic to you. And that's going to spin you down a spiral where it's like, now you don't know what to believe. You don't know who to trust. Because if I trusted this and I believed this and I wasn't protected or I wasn't safe, then now you become aware that sadness exists, aware that bad things happen in the world, and it's like so much to process that you just can't experience joy anymore. All right, we're not meant to stay in sadness, those emotions, which is why the first emotion that comes online is always joy. Doesn't matter if you first hit the baby on the butt to make them cry, or you're a baby and you don't eat right away. Your first emotion is always going to reset back to joy. Then as life progresses, I feel like there's this narrative of like, it's not a bad thing, but it's like humanity is learning how to cope with life. Life has been lifing. Okay. And I feel like the divine is saying like there is another way. How about we go back to our joy? And when we experience certain events that take us out of that frequency of joy, let's process the emotion and then shift it right back immediately. So instead of being on autopilot where we're letting the car drive us, we go back to riding stick shifts, and we're like, okay, I need to shift to this gear, I need to shift to that gear. So now you're the driver, you're the author. You feel what I'm saying? Or don't. Anywho, moving on. Look at you. Look at your fine ass. Okay. I feel like you're ready. Whoever you are ready, babe. And I just feel like your vagueness. People are perceiving you to be very vague. Like you're not scared, no fear. Fear isn't controlling you anymore, and when fear isn't controlling you, the only thing that people can do is try to flatter you because they're like, oh my god, my energy supply is leaving. So it's like, don't leave me. So wait a little bit longer. But you can't save someone that's drowning, because they'll fuck around and drown you too. I'm telling you. You've been there and you've done that. I already know that. I'm telling you, you've been there and you've done that. And you drowned. Then you had to be resuscitated and brought back. Oh, you got a kryptonite. Oh, they bringing in your kryptonite. I don't think this is spirit. Maybe it is spirit. Justice in reverse. There is a karmic out here that is your kryptonite. Oh. You like projects. For those of you that like projects, don't lie. I can see you like projects. You like to feel like you could resuscitate, regenerate some shit. And then a lot of y'all like to take on projects, especially when something feels too much to acquire. So let's say you meet someone new, right? Let's talk about love for a second. All right, because we in the realm of human relations. Okay, so let's say you meet someone. You like this person, they're a leader, but they come with too much drama, or it feels like it's too hard for it to come together. And so it's like, you know what? Maybe this ain't meant to be. Maybe it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And then doubt creeps in. Maybe that's why it's too hard to come together. Maybe we're not meant to be together. And so you block yourself from your own blessing. And then you start looking back on the past situation and you're like, I didn't like this part. But maybe if I can get this part together, we can work on that part later. And what that's saying is that your subconscious realm is doing the math. It's doing the math, trying to determine if a past person is salvageable. Okay? Maybe my standards were too high. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I was thinking, because this was worse. This is like going out there, you see a high value person, and then you realize they have like an asshole type of personality, and you're like, I don't like this type of energy. I'd rather deal with someone that don't have it all, and I can work with that, than to be with someone that just feels like they're just this and that. Or maybe the situation is really meant to help you become who you need to become in order to walk into spaces and places and rooms with people that are not familiar to you yet. Okay. But when you're not doing it to get a person, or you're not doing it for like superficial reasons, then you understand why you're in the game. Okay. Something about it's a need for you to understand why you're in the game to begin with, why you're going to that job to begin with, why you have to go to that education system to begin with, why you have to make certain business connected or collaborate with certain people to begin with. It's not a stepping stone because you just want fame or success. It is completing a contract. Whatever maybe your contract is to go through something that then gives you the insight to where you can do things differently, because now you're in a position of power that allows those that come after you to have a different type of experience than the one that you had. Okay. Something about gliding. So it's not that you didn't learn the lesson, it's that you're contemplating on if you can teach someone else a lesson and avoid this entirely. And I feel like you're running away from your greatness. You're running away from your next level, your level up. The Hierophant. And so it's like, nah, Spirit's like, nah. Go ahead and like that instant, like that stage, redirect, turn that negative into a positive. You ain't going back there. So wrap that shit up. And then so you start asking yourself, what would Christ want me to do? Don't blame that on Christ. Don't blame that on the Most High. Don't do that. 7 of Cups in reverse. Like, is Spirit really who I should be getting my advice from? It's all the same energy. Tomato, fucking tomato. All right. It's like asking God, right? If you're stuck in what's the Jonah in the whale? So like, this is like, no, not Jonah in the whale. I'm sorry. This is like praying to be saved, and then out in the ocean, and God sends a boat, but God didn't come himself. So just because God didn't come himself, does that mean God didn't send you the boat? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what that would be saying. Like, if you ask God for something and God send you Spirit and speak to you through Spirit, does that mean that God didn't send the message? Or that just means that you don't like the delivery? Or, or you're trying to you're testing God, right? God sends you a message and you get the message, but maybe it ain't the one that you want to hear, and then you tested God to see if God really real. Nah, that's not how that works. The Magician, get out of your own way. Okay, babe? That's their message for today. Get out of your own way and come as you are. You won't be disappointed. And this is how I know the reading is done. 6 of Swords in reverse. Or, if you don't like getting out of your own way and coming as you are, go back to your struggle. Go back to your tax brackets. Go back to that unhealthy relationship. Go back to where you started, and we can try this again next season. Okay? No pressure. None at all. I love you, Taurus. I want to thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to be a vessel to channel these messages for our highest and greatest good. The early birds have caught the worm. Love you, Taurus. I'll see you in the next one.